What's going on, everybody? My name is Edward the Collector, and welcome back to another Transformers video review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Siege Leader Class Shockwave. And here we have him transformed in his vehicle mode, in his, well, maybe not vehicle mode, but his alt mode. And it is a submarine? Spaceship, maybe? They don't really explain what it is, but we all know it's actually just a gun. That's more like it. You can flip that down too. Yeah, that is definitely Shockwave. So, obviously, you can't really have it as a gun anymore because of legal stuff. But they figured out a loophole, and they basically just made it an upside down gun, and it's a submarine. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully they do that for Studio Series 86 Megatron, but I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that it would just be another tank Megatron. So that's kind of disappointing. But it's cool that they did it for Shockwave. I think that's pretty funny. But not much to say about this mode. Honestly, it's just a purple brick. It's just like a gun. It looks cool. You can, flip those up and hold it. That's kind of cool. But there is actually more to it than just this. First of all, something I almost forgot. Look at that. The little telescope thing, it kind of looks like his face. It kind of looks like his eye or his head is up there. Which I think it might be what it's supposed to be. But that's not what I was talking about. There is actually extra pieces to bump up the price, of course, because they couldn't just sell this. Who would buy this? Me. And people actually did buy this. They repainted this multiple times, sold it on its own. So, and it sold out. But when it first came out, it was a leader class, and so to bump up that price, they basically just added a ton of junk. So here's some junk, here's some junk, here's some guns. Oh, that almost fell off. It's pieces. And basically, what you want to do is you want to take them, and basically you take this big piece, and you just shove that onto the front of the submarine. Like that. Like that. And then it taps together. And then we have like a big front piece with guns. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go like this. I'm pretty sure the fins are supposed to be on top. Maybe it's... No, yeah, that makes sense, because there's this little piece right here that would hinder that. So yeah, that's correct. And then there's these, which plug onto the back like so. Like that. And then these pieces plug onto the back or onto the sides of those things. And there you have his full spaceship thing. I think this does look pretty cool, in all honesty. I think people make fun of it, but I think it's kind of cool. It's just a big, it just looks like a big warship, kind of. Like a space, giant spacecraft. I could see some sort of big villain flying this, or this being like a headquarters. It looks cool. There's a giant, cannon on the front. Kind of looks like headlights, but also looks like a giant gun. Which, I actually brought blast effects this time. I have blast effects in this little baggie right here, if you can hear the plastic moving around. But it is compatible. So you can have a blast effect right there. And, of course, anywhere else, like right there, there. Actually, hold on. Right there. You can see that. And then on the back as well. You plug those into the feet. So, yeah. That's cool. It's cool, I guess. It's kind of lame because they really just wanted to bump up the price, so they just added extra stuff. Who else did they do that with? They did that for Commander Class Rodimus. He's basically a Voyager figure, just with articulated fingers, and they give him a giant trailer. They do that with a lot of Optimus Prime figures, actually. They're basically just Voyager Class figures, but because of the trailer, they get bumped up in price. But enough about that. For robot mode, you just want to take off everything and set it off to the side, because we're going to use it later. And then you're going to flip down the fins, unplug the tube, flip back the submarine part, or whatever that is, the tower part, and then split the legs, because those are the legs, I don't know if you could tell. Then shift them down and fold in those parts until they plug in. If they don't plug in and they're wobbly, you did it wrong. And then flip around the legs, like that. And then you want to take this part, fold that down, and then fold that up, and then bring down the arms, and then fold it back up, and put on this backpack, then flip down the chest, and flip up the head, and flip it back, and it tabs in. And then you can plug in the tube onto either the side of the arm or the back, like under the arm. And I put it there because it's obviously meant, that's what it's for. So, very simple transformation. But here we have Shockwave in his robot mode, and I love it. This is one of my favorite Shockwave figures. I don't have many, but I don't think you can really mess up a Shockwave figure, in my opinion. You can't really mess that up, except like the alternator Shock Blast, but that's kind of just an alternator's problem. All the alternators robot modes kind of suffer because of the car modes, but in general, I can't really think of one Shockwave figure that's bad. So, you know, I don't think you can really mess him up that, like that. But he looks awesome. I really love the lavender color for his hands, or for his hand, and the blaster. And then the gray looks nice, and there's lavender joints as well. And then the purple, I just love that dark. I love dark purple. That's just such a nice color. And there's even some light piping as well. You can see that. His eye lights up when you put light behind it. So that's pretty cool. And then for articulation in this mode, because if you put everything else on, it's kind of hard to do, but I'm going to show off some other things again in that mode. He has a shoulder swivel and a hinge, so there's some articulation there. A ball joint at the neck, but that's hindered because of the way his backpack and his ears and the shape of his head, but you can get some posability there. A bicep rotation, a little bit like a 93-degree bend. I'm not really sure what that would be. He has a wrist swivel on both, but I don't like to move that one because it's just the gun, so it's just kind of, that's just stationary for me. He has a waist swivel, which is very nice. A little bit of a hindrance, but it's not that bad, really. A clicky hip rotation. You can hear that. And then a swivel at the thigh. A clicky knee. And then an ankle pivot. So you can get some stuff out of him. You can get some posability. And then, of course, since I actually have blast effect this time, this is compatible because of Siege. So that's nice. That's awesome. And then, for a comparison, I have one of my other reviews that you can check out on my channel. #ad. Here is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Shockwave, which is just so beefy. He's just a big guy. If anything, he should be a leader class and maybe give him like some more articulation, but you know, guess not. But yeah, they look good together. Obviously very different, but you know, it's just still a really cool figure. But yeah, he looks great in this mode. This is what I display him as when he's on the shelf. This is what he looks like. I put all of this stuff in a Ziploc bag and just put it in my closet. But for the sake of the review, we can move on from just the base robot and do his, I guess, super mode. I guess that's, you know, what you want to call it. First, you're going to want to take these parts and just split them apart like that. And then you're going to use these as the feet. Put that on and then flip up the wing. Or you can fold up the wing. But I kind of like this because it kind of gives them some more, like some cool designs on the outside. And then take this, fold that down and swivel it. Then you push it on to his shoulder. You can see in there's a little peg, and there's the peg hole. So both sides. And then this part, you fold up the gun parts and then just put it on his back. Like so. And then you fold them around like coattails, which is pretty interesting. That's a cool little design choice. And there we have Shockwave Super Mode, which is pretty weird in my opinion. It gives him two extra guns and some tow guns and like a big jetpack, I guess. I'm not really sure. And then a blaster on top. So it's definitely something they did. That is for sure. It's not bad in any way. It's just kind of like, it's kind of a turnoff just because, you know, it's literally just money. They wanted to make it a leader class figure, so they added this junk. But it's alright. It looks kind of cool. So, there is some more articulation in this mode. It's literally just extra hands. So there's a swivel right there, or extra arm, sorry, swivel right there, and then an elbow. And then these can have swivels as well. So, and then these parts, little coattails, can move around. But other than that, that is his combined form, I guess, his super mode. And just for comparison, for another leader class figure that was actually a Voyager with junk, but it was junk that made sense. Here is Siege Optimus, Siege Galaxy Optimus. So, just another, you know, another leader class that was actually a little guy that had stuff on him. This works way better. This and Ultra Magnus, and I guess that's really it. But Shockwave, the base robot, works very well. I love the base robot Shockwave. And also, there is actually something else you can do with the extra pieces, which I'm going to show right now. You can take off the shoulders and the feet and the backpack, set them off to the side. And for this part, you fold out these gun parts and then tab them together like this. And then you're going to want to plug in the shoes and fold down the wings. Maybe plug them in before you tab together the bottom part. Actually, no, it's fine. You can just tab that together like that and fold that down. Oh, maybe not. These don't like to stay together for me. And then fold up that part and that. And then you plug them together like so. And we have a little hoverboard that you can put Shockwave on. I don't really get it. There we go. That is actually a mode that is actually like advertised in the instructions and on the box. I don't really get it. It's cool, I guess, you know. Maybe he flies around a laboratory with this thing, who knows. But again, just another thing. But it's cool. It's nice that they figure out a way to put all this stuff together into one thing, and you just set it off to the side, which I do. I take this and I put it away. Similar to the, oh, another one, Astro Train. He was a Voyager class figure that they added just a ton of guns to. Jetfire, the Commander class figure, they gave him a ton of armor. So, you know. But through my complaining about the price bump and the just leader class price point, it's not a bad figure. That's not what I'm really trying to say. It's just not a good figure for the leader class price point, because it literally is just a short Voyager class figure with not a ton of stuff going on. I mean, he has some good articulation. He has, you know, the hip swivel, the nice neck, the wrist swivel, but it's still just a Voyager class figure, and it's a pretty good Voyager class figure at that, and it's still a great looking Shockwave. I love Shockwave, so I love this figure, but like, they could have done it differently, and they did. They eventually did recently the comic version where it's like the cell shade, or like the comic, not cell shading, but the comic paint scheme, and looks pretty cool. But again, that's still kind of expensive because it's, you know, special edition. It comes with an Optimus head, so there's no cheap way of getting this figure, which is kind of just upsetting, because there's this one, the Decepticon Bridge version, which comes with Soundwave and Megatron. Was it Soundwave? I can't remember, but he was in there, and he was also on the comic one. I'm pretty sure he was actually in another pack as well, but correct me on that if I'm wrong. But there's no cheap way of getting this figure, which is upsetting, because it is a good Shockwave. It's a great looking figure. Looks great in collections, so it's kind of upsetting. But it's a good figure. I really do like it. I've complained quite a bit this video, so I'm sorry about that. But I do really like the figure. I do suggest it, but it's just one of those things that's kind of like hard to get and also kind of expensive. So if you're a Shockwave fan, definitely find it. If not, then, you know, maybe pass. But if you do want more Decepticons, then get him. But this has been my review of the Transformers Siege Leader Class Shockwave. And if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to like, comment if you did or didn't, and subscribe. and I will see you all in the next video.